Osiris.
Welcome to another episode of Goose Chicks Podcast, an all-women-led show focused on the band Goose and the community that supports them. I'm Leslie Mack, producer and co-host, and this week we are talking about bringing children to shows and festivals. What are some best practices? Which venues are most accommodating? And what you need to do to ensure your child is safe and having fun alongside you. We'll have some special guests later in the show to get into all of that. But first, we want to do a brief check-in with the lovely ladies of the Goose Chicks Podcast, Alexia, Chelsea, and Hannah. Hi there. How are you all?
Hey. Good, especially with, we get to see each other this week. We get the cap run,
Yes, we're recording this like 2 sleeps before the cap run. So y'all will hear this later, but we are in prime, about to leave our homes to head up to New York to see Goose and end our Goose droughts respectively together. So I'm very excited about that. The other thing that happened is that our merch drop occurred. So folks can actually pick up our first merch drop right now. You can go to goosechickspod.com to check it out. What pieces are y'all most excited to see on folks once people can purchase? Hannah, I'll start with you.
Honestly, I'm not going to lie. I'm a big fanny pack girl. So that's the number one thing where I'm just like, I have to have one. And then I know that I've showed the designs to a lot of my friends and people are very excited for the sweatshirts, the guitar hoodies.
Yeah, the full print. Yeah, those are really nice. How about you, Chelsea?
Yeah, I was going to say I'm definitely getting a fanny pack for myself. I just have to decide which one because there's like 3 versions. They're all cute. So I'm definitely getting the fanny pack and I just really like all the t-shirt designs, even just the plain t-shirt. I have some ideas for some tie-dye that we can do on those. So if anyone needs some tie-dye, hit me up. But yeah, so I'm excited for people to get those.
Love it. Alexius, what about you?
I love all of it. But I'm very excited. I really want to try like one of the dresses on. And so I'm excited about that. And my girls are super pumped about the bucket hats on there, like super pumped.
Yes.
And so especially after this weekend.
I was just going to say,
Rick busts out a bucket hat. Suddenly they're back in favor in the community. Everyone's been talking about bucket hats. And luckily we have bucket hats on our drop. So there you go. Yes, very excited. I loved all of it. I want to give a shout out to Creative Devs out of Seattle for their work. They did the work on all the designs. They really were able to tap into kind of the spirit of the show and what we've been trying to create, which is like fun, vibrant, about music. But I'm really excited about that. The other thing is we went with a drop where we're not pre-ordering materials. We really didn't want to have like a negative environmental effect. And so when you order, your item will actually get produced. So there's no overage of inventory that will occur at any point, which I'm very excited about. And then, of course, people might ask, what did the merch sales go to? They go to directly supporting the show and supporting all of us, being able to go to shows, go to festivals, and cover those things on the show. So yes, when you buy merch, you support us directly in making this show possible in the future. So definitely, like I said, go to goosechickspod.com/merch and pick up an item or 2 or 3 or gift for your friends, whatever you'd like. I am very excited about the hoodies. I'm also very excited about the beanies as well because they're very cute. Mm-hmm. So those are the 2 things that I'm into. I got really into beanies this past year. I'd never worn them before, but I'm like obsessed. All right, let's head into our running segments. And we're going to start with how to get down. And we're going to talk a little bit about pancakes, which you'll know why when we get to the second one, the interview a little bit later while we chose this song. But a little, just info about the song. Pancakes is a Great Blue original, which was the band Peter was in before Goose. And it debuted with Goose January 27th, 2022 at the Observatory North Park in San Diego, California. Goose played Goose 20 times since then. Most recently, they played it at Moon Palace in Riviera Maya, Mexico, at the Playing in the Sand Festival. And so it's become a pretty big staple for them. Just they've only been playing it for a year and 20 times already. It's pretty high. I think I've seen it at least 2 or 3 times so far. So yeah, it's definitely heavy rotation. We'll post links to the lyrics, of course, but I'm curious what happens at a set when Pancakes comes on? Like what's the vibe? What do y'all think occurs? Chelsea, I'm gonna start with you.
This song I just think is so fun. It's kind of one of those that has silly lyrics in the chorus. But then again, I think it really brings this feeling of like togetherness. Like, come and get some pancakes. There's plenty for us all. So, just that bringing people together. And I think it's just fun when it's just kind of a chance to like let loose and dance and have fun whenever they play it. I feel like they do tend to jam it out though.
Yeah, they almost always jam it out when they play it. So yeah. You don't get short pancakes out here. Definitely.
Right. No. So it's definitely, you can expect some good jams coming out of it, but it's just good vibes to me. Just, everyone, we're all here together. We're all here for the same thing sort of vibe.
Hannah, how about you? Pancakes, what happens when it comes on?
So it is a silly song, I think. And at first I was like, oh, this is just a silly dancey song. But when you actually look at the lyrics, the sense of unity and, I think we talked about this with, what other Peter song were we talking about recently?
And how Alien, I think.
Yeah, Earthling or Alien, yeah. And how there's this sense of like, okay, maybe he's trying to tell us a little bit more about like, social issues and politics and stuff like that. I definitely get a flavor of that in the lyrics for Pancakes. So, I appreciate that Peter weaves that in some of his lyrics, and not just one song, but, throughout. And you can choose to view his songs as cute little dancey songs, and they are, but you can also listen to a little bit deeper message if you want to.
Absolutely. Alexius, what about you? How are you feeling when Pancakes comes on? You're muted.
Thank you very much. I am feeling when Pancakes comes on at first, like when I first heard it, I was just like, this song is different, and I'm hearing it in the shows. And then when I come out and everyone's, getting super excited in the shows, everyone's clapping. And then when I came out, reading the lyrics and stuff, and it is the like we've all said, the unity in it is beautiful, like the message of unity. And I think that we need that so much right now because there's such a disconnect between everyone all over the world. And the message of unity is so important, but also it's the message of, sometimes we forget, and Peter's also, when he's writing the song, like forgetting who we are and, and basically like saying the stamp, talking about where does the stamp go? I never tried to mail myself. There isn't a price tag. There's no reason to sell myself. And I think that that's a great message in the song. Like a big part of it is unity, but also knowing our self-worth and, knowing that we don't have to just succumb to what everyone else is saying, what the general consensus is on everything else, because I feel that it's a big thing that people do, that they don't want to have that difference, that they don't want to have any difference or to something to come up. I can't try to think of what I'm saying or put it in words, but the difference, people are afraid to be themselves and to step outside of that box and to what other people say. And I think that that's a great thing that he's putting, like that we can still be ourselves and we can still all be united, I guess is what I'm trying to say out of it, is to still be yourself and let's all love each other and let's all still come together. And there's plenty for all of us. Let's not fight over it. That's another thing that this community has taught me. And, like Chelsea, we were talking about the tie-dyes and stuff. My husband does tie-dyes. She does tie-dyes. And, and Jason said one day, he's like, well, I don't want to mess with Chelsea's business. I really like with her. And Chelsea's like, no, there's plenty of room for us all. And that kind of relates back to this. And there's plenty of room for us all here. And there's a lot of things that a lot of us will step back on and that they don't want to step on someone else's toes. And so I think that that's really really important to remember to not be greedy, to not hurt others around you, that there's plenty for us all. So I think that's a beautiful message of the song, the unity and not being greedy, and to remember that there's plenty for us all, and to meet up. We can eat them on the ceiling and flip them off the wall. Just, wherever we are, come together and let's be united, and don't sell yourself for a short. Don't sell yourself. I think this song is beautiful. It's a fun, dancey song. And I didn't get, until looking at the lyrics of it, the written lyrics. And I think that that's a common thread that we see with Peter and that we've talked about, is how that at first it looks like it's just like a fun song. But then when you actually get into the lyrics, that he's a great lyricist for making very, very important topics that are going on in a fun way, and to help you see that fun, and you just don't even realize that it's changing your mentality in a happy way and not in a negative way. So I think this song is really cool in that way.
I love it. For me, this is one of Goose's fishiest songs, both in lyrical content and also the fact that they just jam it out every time. And so I always connected with this. I was really excited during the Toulouse tour that Trey played Pancakes with them. I was screaming in the audience, oh my God, Trey's playing Pancakes. Because this whole time I've been that's such a fishy song. And so I was excited to hear Trey play it. And, he sang it too. And it's clear he wanted to sing Pancakes. And I was like, yep, I was right. It's very fishy. And Trey totally connected with it. So I love that. And I do think it's one of those great dancey songs, but it's not super hype. So you can move, but not feel like your heart rate has to get up. So for me at a set, it's a good breather song. It's a good song to get back into your body a little bit, especially because I feel like they sometimes, because they know it's going to be a long jam, they sandwich it between high energy songs. And so the flow of the set sometimes is really nice to have a nice long Pancakes right in the middle of it. So appreciate that. For our fan art spotlight this week, when we talked about one of our own, Alexius Lipo Photography. Alexius, y'all will be able to check out her website and go see all of the amazing work that she's been doing. But I wanted to ask you just a couple of questions, Alexius, if you don't mind. First of all, how did you get into photography, and when did that become, a big passion of yours?
So photography has actually been a passion of mine since I was a little girl. National Geographic, my stepdad he has this huge collection still of National Geographics from the 70s. And so I was always obsessed with looking at the photos and traveling, and just seeing the different travels and stuff. And so I got obsessed with photography when I was a little girl, really little. And for my 12th birthday, my family got me this awesome camera. And so that was fine. I got little ones before that, but nothing like a nice, legit camera. And so I got that when I was 12, and just, traveling, seeing different things. So I have a lot of photography that's not even out there that I have on my things. And so I'm really excited about putting some of those photos out that have never been out, that no one's ever seen them except for, family and friends that have come to my house. And so I'm really excited for some of those to go out. But it's really just been a lifelong thing. And just, as you grow up, life comes, society comes, you have to do this, you have to do that. So I would just do it on the side for a long time. And then my epilepsy started, and, it's very severe epilepsy. And so I'm on the path to brain surgery and everything. And so that's when I realized hey, life is short. We need to do some of the things that we love to do instead of just working and grinding nonstop, and try to do some of your dreams. And I think that's the thing, is that adults, we just totally put that aside, And so after my epilepsy, I was like, no, after it started getting very, very off the wall, just just not knowing what it's going to do, I was like, okay, I'm going to get back into some things that I love. And so photography was one of them, and music has always been one of them. And so Goose was absolutely amazing. Well, I was working with different bands and stuff and doing things. And then after so long, Goose was like, yes, you can come shoot with us. And so that's just they're just amazing to let, their fans and people that have been that have been wanting to do things to come out and, see what you can do and try and do that, and just supporting their fans like that. What bands do that? They're just like, thanks for coming, but they see that we want to follow our dreams. So they're giving us a chance to do that. And so that's been an awesome thing. And more amazing things have led from that. So it's just very exciting to be able to be doing my photography and what I wanted to do my whole life and be doing it now.
I love that. What are some recent shows you shot? I know you had a few very recent ones. So could you name a few that you went to recently and shot?
Let's see. I did Papadozio. The Goose Drought. I've been doing a lot. I did Dogs in a Pile. Let's see. This reggae band Rockstead dropped a record, and so I did their show. Oh, I can't even remember. That's horrible. Oh, I did Rebecca Todd and just a lot of different shows, and it's been a lot of fun. And I've learned a lot about how spoiled that we are in the Goose community, like how well that we have it made, and how different it is everywhere else. So, but I've been spending my couple of months just doing, just practicing on my photography, getting different things. And I'm really excited because I have new equipment. So at the Capitol coming up, I'm super pumped to go out and use everything that I've been learning. And then the new equipment that I have, I'm just like, super excited about it. So hopefully I do as well as in my mind that I'm hoping, because usually I don't talk about this and stuff. Usually I just keep everything, on the DL and never talk about it, and then just like release it because I'm.
And then just released an amazing photo one day. We're all just like, what?
What is
that one of
happening?
Trev you posted the other day. I was like, what? Where did this come from?
One of the things I really love about hearing you as you start to do more shows and different bands is like, I'll listen to the bands that you're doing photography for. And so like when I'm looking to try and figure out which festivals I want to prioritize that Goose is at, I look and I'm like, oh yeah, like this festival has a bunch of bands that I recognize the name of and I've listened to because of Alexia's and her photography. So I don't know if I've really said that to you before, but I just appreciate that sometimes it seems like there's new bands popping up left and right, and where do I start? And that's like a go-to move for me is I'll listen to bands you mentioned.
Oh, that means the world to me. Thank you. It really, really does, because being an artist and putting yourself out there and just, it's very intimidating, extremely intimidating to put your stuff out there, because you definitely will get some positive comments, and then you'll definitely get, hate. And sometimes the hate's just coming solely from someone knowing someone else, or just like, being a photographer themselves. And so it's just like trying to throw that shade, that mental game. And so I really try and be careful and protect things. And that's why I don't talk about it as much, and we'll just like release it, is because, I just trying to protect my mental sanity in that, because it's a lot to put art out there and to hear people's responses, because no matter what, it does get to you. So
yeah, that's just human, right? I think that's important to know. Like we all have human feelings and human reactions to, critique, or, especially as you said, it's art, it's personal, it's something that you're putting out there, and it's a vulnerable position to be in. So I appreciate that. The first time we actually met formally was at the Joy Run, and you were shooting those shows. And I remember thinking to myself, I don't know if I could kind of wear both hats and be a fan and then like switch into photography mode and then come back and go and, enjoy the rest of the show. So I just wanted to ask, like, how do you do that? Like what happens for you when you switch from one side of the rail to the other? Is there something physically you do? Is there something mentally, how you prepare yourself for that shift? Because I mean, the energy is different. When I see you shooting, it's like you're so serious and you're like, getting your shots and moving around. And then when you're on the other side of the rail, it's like, oh, it's Alexia, so she's out here. So I just wanted to know, like, how does that happen for you? And like, did it take a while to kind of develop that, that switch for yourself?
It's really funny that you asked that, because Chris Quinn and I were talking about that the other day, and he sent me a meme, and it's like this big football player and, fully dressed out at a football game, watching it from like the nosebleed section and stuff. And this is how you feel as a photographer at a concert, because I'll literally, when I'm not shooting shows, I'll literally be like looking around like, is there a photographer there getting that? This is a great spot. Like, is there a photographer getting that? Oh, you missed that. So in my mind, I'm always in that photography mode. And so I've kind of just had to teach myself like, okay, you only get this much, so, and then go enjoy it after that. So it's definitely been a thing that I've had to teach myself, and still something that I'm struggling with. You'll see me also, like, I'll whip that camera out when I'm back there, like trying to get, if I have my camera at a show. So, but I've also taught myself when I don't have my camera at a show to stop and enjoy, and, don't be thinking about those shots, because you can't get them, Alexius. Like, you don't have your camera in here. So, just stop and enjoy the show and enjoy the people around you. And so, yeah, that's definitely been something that I've had to work on, but I think I'm getting better at it. I was at the Billy String show this weekend, and of course I was like, I got to meet Jesse Fats. So, so I got that done. And then after that, and he's such an amazing photographer. And then after that, I was like, really, enjoying it. But I will say probably 10 times I caught myself being like, where's Jesse? Where's Jesse? Where is he? And, but it was really cool watching him and everywhere that he went and stuff. So no matter what, definitely it shows I'm watching, what different photographers are doing and what different parts of the building that they're in and what I could possibly get. So yeah, so I don't think that switch ever turns off. It's quietly in there. Yeah, it's there. Yeah.
Excellent. And what is your website, so everyone knows where to follow you and buy prints and see your work up and everything? Yeah.
So my website is alexiuslipo.com. Thankfully, I have a very easy name, and I didn't add photography or anything else because my name is already so long. And so it's just alexiuslipo.com. And heads up, it's under construction right now, and it should be like completely finished by the end of the month. And more photos will be going up there. But that was trying to get all the photos from all those past shows. That's what's, like taking, getting all those downloaded. So have patience with me. I have a lot on my Instagram. Well, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to me at alexiuslipo@gmail.com. I try and keep everything really easy, it just being my name, alexiuslipo@gmail or alexiuslipo.com. And, but, I have people reach out to me like, hey, I saw you taking a shot of me at the show. Can you give me a preview of the shot? And so I'll give people while it's under construction. So, but at the end of the month, everything should be up, and I'm really, and adding different things from old times, like, from when I started and stuff. So I'm excited to have that, the whole thing, the beginning, what's going on now, and just keeping up with it. So I'm excited about that.
Love it. Thanks so much. And everyone check that out. We'll have all the links in the show notes. For Podcast Flowdown, I wanted to shout out the But Why, a podcast for curious kids. It's an NPR podcast that aims to answer kid questions about everything from nature, politics, culture, science, even the end of the world. And your kids can submit their own questions as well on their website. We'll include links in the show notes. They cover a wide range of topics, so it's actually fun for adults to listen to as well. Some recent episodes include Don't Swallow Gum and other things parents say, why do bison run fast but walk slow, and who invented the emoji. So definitely check that one out. Again, I'll have the links in the show notes, and I'll also put a link to a great Wired article that just has a bunch of podcasts that are great for families and kids, because that's the theme of this episode. We are going to take a short break, and we'll be back with Sarah and Jason to talk about their Goslings and best practices at shows for kids. We'll be right back. right, welcome back from the break. We're so excited. We have some parents joining us on the podcast today, Sarah and Jason. I'm going to throw it over to Chelsea to introduce them and kick off this conversation. Chelsea?
Thank you, Leslie. So I'm super excited. Today we have my friends Sarah Haney and Jason Zostic here to talk about being parents of little goslings at Goose shows. So a little bit about them. Sarah is an Appalachian interpreter, educator, artist, goat farmer, and stepmom. They live in Southeast Ohio. They've been following Goose since December 2019. And Jason is a hardcore Goose fan. He also works in the interpretation and tourism industry. And he has 2 kids. He loves being a dad. And they got hooked on Goose at the Covington 2019 show. They've been to 18 shows together since then, and they brought their kids to 4 of those shows. So I'm super excited for Sarah and Jason for being here today. A little background, how we met was actually because we were all bringing kids of similar ages to a Goose show. And Sarah and I got connected on the Goose Chicks Facebook group. I had posted on there, who has kids? Our kids want to play with someone else's kids. And Sarah responded, we all met up. The boys played together like all night. And then we were able to have some adult hangs as well. So that was fun. So shout out to the Goose Chicks group for connecting us. I'm super excited for our friendship we've built since then. So Sarah and Jason, first of all, will you guys tell us a little bit about your goslings and their personalities?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having us on. So we have 2 little boys, Josiah and Judah. Josiah is 10. And just to kind of describe his personality a little bit, he's very sweet and loving and loves to help. Josiah has autism. And so navigating Goose shows can definitely be challenging at first, but he really, really enjoys going to watch them, especially for the lights. That's his kind of main thing. And then Judah, he's 8. He's our wild child. He loves to run around and be loud and scream. And then I would say the best way to describe him would be theatrical. He's very theatrical. And he, of course, is obsessed with Peter. And so, yeah, they've kind of got hooked on Goose, just to give you a little bit of background, because of the Luigi stuffed animal. And they also have a Luigi stuffed animal. And they were convinced for the longest time that Luigi would leave our house, go to the show, sit on Peter's keyboard, and then would magically appear back in our house, the next day.
I feel like this needs to be a comic or something, or like a children's book. It sounds literally, it sounds so amazing, so cool.
Cutest thing
How
ever.
imaginative! I love that.
Yeah, it's like Elf on a Shelf, but Luigi on a keyboard.
That's right.
Yeah,
so
we're really lucky that the kids instantaneously fell in love with Goose. I became their stepmom in 2019, and it's been really fun because it definitely instantaneously helped bond our family, like going to see live music together. And I wanted to say too, like Legend Valley is definitely been their favorite tradition now. We always are going to try to take them there.
Yes, and that was the show we met at. I don't know if I said that. Legend Valley. So, which has like a huge lawn, like we were talking about, for the kids to run around. So how do you guys decide which shows you want to bring the kids to? Like, what makes a show or a venue kid friendly?
Yeah, I recommend like planning ahead of time with your partner, discussing it, because like for our family, we think that outdoor venues are the best because it's more open. You end up having more space. And then for stimulation, like indoor venues can be very overstimulating for kids. Outdoor venues can definitely make it more kid friendly. We also like the outdoor venues for if camping's available. We took the kids to Fred Fest, and it was great because then by the time second set came along, then we just got to go back to camp and relax and fall asleep with the kids there. So if camping's available, that's definitely a big benefit for the venue. And then also with us planning the venue, it's how far is it away from our house? Because when you're taking kids, you definitely want to calculate the car ride, because Jason and I usually will drive anywhere to Goose, but if it's with the kids, we got like a radius of like a couple hours. So
Right. Yeah.
That's true. I was going to say, Alexis is the parent too, who also has brought her daughter to shows. So if you have anything to add, Alexius, feel free. But I agree with the outdoor venue.
Definitely.
Seems to make sense.
It definitely
Yeah.
is. Sky was definitely overwhelmed. Her first show was at indoor venue in Charlotte. And she was on the rail with us. And, you know, kind of at the end, you could tell that she was just like exhausted. She had been out in the line all day. And, you know, so I completely agree with you. Outdoor venues are great, because once they do get to that tired point, because they're younger, you can always either switch back to the lawn and they can lay down if they want to. And, you know, when I'm going to start bringing my 7-year-old this year. So I'm going to see more like, you know, more of the exhaustion of the younger ones, because my older one, she's ready to play and go all the time. But yeah, we'll see how it goes with Ara this year. I'll be hitting y'all up for for advice. And so
Yeah.
Yes.
So what, Sarah and Jason, what are some must-haves to bring to a show when you bring your kids? Because, you know, like we're talking about lawn, you probably want to bring a blanket. Anything else?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 I will say that we were lucky enough that their first Goose show was a drive-in. So we were lucky enough to have our car right there. So we brought all their goodies. You know, we had chairs for them and blankets and all sorts of stuff. But then after that, we weren't really, we didn't have that luxury. So like Legend Valley last year, we brought a wagon with us, which honestly was clutch. It was amazing. Not only did it serve its purpose at helping to get the kids in and out of the show, but the side of the wagon came off as well, and we turned it into like a couch for them.
Yeah.
So they had like blankets and all sorts of cool stuff in there.
Yeah, and with the wagon, I want to add, like, for people who have little kids, you know, you probably have wagons, you have strollers, they fit in the wagons fine. But then when your kids get above the age of 5, it's way harder to fit them in a wagon. So we looked into the garden wagons, because those are way bigger. You can fit kids up to the age of like preteen and then still give them that comfortable space. It kind of gives them a home base. And we really liked that. I think we're only going to use the wagon because also at the end of the night, when your kids are sleepy, they can kind of like curl up in there, and then you can just kind of roll them back to the car.
I will say the one downfall of the wagon, though, was like at Legend Valley, there's that big hill you walk down to get into the venue. And that was kind of nice going down the hill with the boys in the wagon. But coming back up the hill was absolute torture. So that's the only downfall. You know, maybe if it had like a mechanical assist to it or something.
Yeah, get ready for a workout.
Yeah, I'm thinking, especially at the end of the show, like when your energy's totally depleted, you're like, okay, like, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm like, put me in the wagon, pull me up the hill.
Hello, yeah, exactly.
Some other fun must-haves. So, PSA for people who might be new to bringing their kids to Goose is that a lot of venues have strict bag policies, but there's usually a side note that if you're bringing childcare items, you can get more stuff in. Like childcare item bags are provided. So just make sure you check that out for the venue before you pack up your stuff. But we love bringing glow sticks for the kids. And I know like glow sticks are really common in the jam scene, but specifically for the kids, like it thoroughly entertains them. But then also we love attaching the glow sticks to them somewhere on their clothes or their shoes, because that helps us keep an eye on them as they're like running around with their friends. And man, the glow sticks, like they like usually end up running around the kids, have lightsaber battles, dancing with them. So that's really fun.
Yeah, at Legend Valley, it was like if you looked up in the lawn, you just saw all these lights running back and forth. And we gave we had brought a 7-year-old with us, and we gave him like a special light up thing that none of the other kids had.
Yep.
So we were like, you have to carry this at all times, so we could just like see where he was running around. And so yeah, double duty on those because they're fun and they serve a safety purpose.
Absolutely. Yeah, another good thing that I highly recommend are the over the ear, like ear protection for the kids. Those are crucial. And I will say, like, I've been just to a lot of shows in general and been up front and heard people talk about, hey, it's set break and I can't hear anything. I just want to advocate for more earplugs at shows. I think that it's a great investment if you're going to continue to go to shows for a long time to keep your hearing. That's kind of important. So those are really nice. And that the over the ear ones I prefer better than the ones that go in the ear for the kids, because you're not sure if those go all the way in or if they get seated correctly, or if the kid is just running around like wild, they can fall out. So the over the ear ones are nice because they're on, they're sealed, and they're gonna keep that noise down for the kids.
Oh, y'all are definitely like super pros at this. I go to a lot of shows, but definitely, I completely agree with the advocating for earplugs. And for the longest time, I was just like, why? Can you hear the show properly? And you can hear the show better. I learned that I started bringing the little earplugs with me, and I can actually hear what they're saying on stage. Like when Peter says something or Rick says something, usually it used to just be all muffled, up at the front. And now when I have my headphones in, I can actually hear what they're saying and understand it instead of having to go back after the show and watch it in the stream. And so, but I completely agree with you on the headphones and the over the ear. And it's very important. I think all of us don't realize how important it is in the music scene. And we're just like, oh, we're going to be able to hear forever. And that's not the way it is. My mother-in-law is practically almost deaf. And she was one that went to all the Dead shows, all the, all those shows, like followed them. And so her hearing is absolutely horrible now because of that. And she even wears hearing aids and has to have them all the way up, and she can still barely hear, and she has to read your mouth. And that was literally all from concerts. So, and teaching them from a young age teaches them like, hey, you still can hear it and you can still protect your ears. So that's a great motivation to start doing at a young age.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Eargasm. I just bought my first pair. They just came in the mail just in time for the cap run. So I'll be using those, but I've only heard good things. And this is the first time I'm taking my hearing seriously at shows. So I'm super excited about it because I can definitely feel, from all the shows. So especially for kids, when you're looking out for them, make sure that you get them those headphones.
I'm really so obnoxious about earphones up front. I'm always like, where are your earphones? I ask everybody. With like blank stares. I'm like, you also, just for adults too, it cuts chompers out. Just there are lots of benefits to earplugs, and in addition to preserving your hearing, it does help you hear the show better. But if there happen to be people talking about around you, it cuts that out immediately. That whole like thing. So there's a lot of reasons why there are pluses to protecting your hearing and wearing ear pods or earbuds or
protecting your hearing.
Yeah, protecting your hearing shows. That's right.
Yeah. Protecting your hearing and protecting your sanity from chompers.
It's the best hack for that. It's so good.
That's hilarious. Okay, I'm excited to wear my new, what are they, earplugs? Earplugs at Cap Run. So I'll let you guys know next episode. So in addition to that, are there any other safety tips or best practices you guys wanted to share?
Yeah, we value safety so much. The kids actually nicknamed me Safety Sarah, which I love. That is so important to me. We recommend writing your phone number on the kids with a Sharpie. Two kind of placements I recommend is under their sleeve of their shirt or on their ankles, like not just out in the open, so other people might be weird and pick up your number, but this is a safety tip. So let's say worst case scenario, your kids do wander off. Someone can call you based off of the number on their arm, like because kids get overstressed whether they memorized your number or not. Still do this. Put your first and last name, put your number. To piggyback off of that safety tip, when you get to the venue, point out to your kids what the staff look like. Point out their shirts, point out their radio, and just explain like, hey, if you don't see me, like call out to these people. And like we always set boundaries with the kids, like, hey, like we're going to stay in this area. You have to always see us. Like we're always close to them. But like, you know, the kids are running around playing, usually like pretty close to us, but it's still just to follow those best practices to help keep everyone safe.
Yeah. And I would say another tip, this is a good safety tip, but just to get your kids like familiar with where you're going, is something I've learned with Josiah having autism, is that sharing social stories with the kids is extremely beneficial. So we're lucky and blessed that we have YouTube now, and you can go on YouTube and just type in whatever venue you're going to and type in walkthrough, and they'll do these great videos. They'll show you where the parking lots are, what the venue looks like, what it looks like from the balcony, and that gives your kid a good idea of what they're going to expect when they get there. Obviously, there's not the crowds and the noise. You got to get over that. But that way they can see the venue without people in it, kind of see where the routes are and they need to go. That's very, very beneficial.
I need to do that for myself. So I'm going to just snatch that safety tip and put it in my back pocket, because that actually sounds like it would alleviate some of my own anxiety as well. So thanks for that tip, Jason. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think y'all need to be like the parental leaders of everyone. Like I am just beyond impressed everything that y'all are saying. And you know, I go to concerts all the time, take my kids, and I'm just like, wow, this is a great idea. That's a great idea. Like I've never shown my kids. And just like Leslie said, you know, this is something that we need to do for ourselves. And, you know, so, and when I get to a show, I'm always so panicked trying to, you know, what do I need to tell Sky? What does she need to do? What does she need to know? And just knowing all this and, you know, just like beforehand, showing what they need to see. And these are just excellent tips. I am flabbergasted at all the stuff that I have forgotten or didn't even realize that I should do. Safety, Sarah, you are amazing.
Safety, Sarah. Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're definitely passionate about Goose, and we're passionate about like sharing that with our kids. And like, I think it's important to like normalize this space for all ages. Like Goose, like whether you're young or old, it's such a phenomenal band to get into and share that community. So some other best practices I wanted to share is encouraging families who are going to Goose to plan to meet up with other families and to use social media as a platform to make this happen. What Jason and I did for the last Legend Valley show is we looked at an aerial photo of the venue and noticed the lawn side on Peter's side and posted up on Goose Chicks that, hey, if you have kids, like, let's meet up over here in this lawn space. And like almost like 10 families showed up as we've been talking about. And it was great because like we want to encourage the kids to be social, because it's like one of our favorite aspects is like talking about Goose at the shows and encouraging people to do this, because if we are just going to shows and like we're like kind of like walking around and like running into families here and there, like stopping and talk to a second, maybe like by the bathrooms, or there's a family somewhere like by your seating area, like it's best to plan that beforehand, because then, you have like a whole Goose Kid village running around, and like putting yourself out there can be hard. Like meeting new people, but the benefits of it like outweigh anything negative that could happen. Like it was so nice to have so many other moms and dads to talk to and connect with.
I think it just builds confidence for everybody in this space as well, just knowing that there's kids to play with and that there's multiple eyes on all the kids as well. So yeah, I love that, kind of safety in numbers approach, and creating a nice space for all the families to be in. That must have been so fun. Oh my gosh, so fun.
It was so fun. Because like I said, that's where we met and how we met. And we were able to like go up and be able to talk between us and always look back and be able to see our kids, and all the kids were playing and having a great time, because they didn't have to just stand with us the whole time, So yeah, it was really nice. And we made friendships out of it, because here we are. Sarah and Jason are my Showhio family now, because I will see them whenever I go to shows in Ohio, which I just saw them in Cincinnati, which is super exciting. So
New Year's was so much fun.
Yes, we love those connections. That's how you build them, though, is you do have to put yourself out there, like you said.
I love that, because I have been saying, I'm sure y'all have heard me, or Leslie, and y'all have heard me a couple of times saying, like, I really want to get a parent group. And I've been talking to a few people that I know that have kids and take their kids to concerts. I'm like, we need to get a parent group and at different shows, and like Legend Valley last year, and have people that are on duty, like people that we can trust and stuff, so that everyone has time that they can go down to. They have time to enjoy the show, where it's not always watching, the children, and like, okay, first night, first set, these people are going to watch the kids, or these people, and then second set, these people are going to come, and just like switch it out. So everyone has that chance to enjoy the show, knowing that your children are safe. And also your children have that experience from a young age of making their friends and being able to go to shows and teaching them the safety and how to make friends with other people and what to look for and all those wonderful positive things. So y'all saying this, I think that we really need to get on and like I don't know if y'all know if there's like a Facebook page, like a Goose. I know that there's like an old Gosling page, but I think that was more just the kids sharing music with each other. But I would love to have like a group that the parents can talk and figure out, like, hey, we're going to this show and who's going to what shows, so that we know what kids, so that way that we can all discuss, and it makes it more fun and easier for the parents and for the children, because they have friends that they know that are coming, and then I think that would be a great idea. And safety, Sarah, I think that's it. And you leading I'm just so beyond impressed. So, like leading the group, and even you don't have to take all the responsibility of it and stuff, but just all the information that y'all have is absolutely amazing. That would be a really cool thing. I advocate for us to have a parental group, at shows. And just like y'all said, it's so nice, Chelsea, like finding friends that you can, okay, we've got these kids, and that's very exciting. I'm very excited. Thank you.
I love that idea. I love that idea so much, about like having like parent groups and cultivating that community. I feel like is so important.
Definitely. And showing that it's okay for the kids to be at shows. Because I know when I first, I don't know if y'all have had the same thing, but, people will at first look at you and be like, why do you have your kids at this show? And it's it's just any other.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I don't like that judgment. Like we got to create that positive space. And like, luckily people have been so nice to us and our kids, like given our kids stickers, or when we were at Fred, like someone gave our kids like little dinosaurs. So like, we've luckily have had like really positive experiences, but like any judgment you have, like it's a good space. Like you can have that safe space for kids, and like with best practice with that is like, the only thing with having kids and going to Goose shows is you do sometimes have to plan to leave early, but we want to normalize that, like, that's okay. And that, like, Jason and I usually leave 2 to 3 songs after second set with the kids. And usually the kids are sleepy enough, and like the show, if it's going to go to 1 a.m., like we know the kids aren't going to make it to that. So, but we just wanted to say, like, hey, that's okay. Like, the experience of making the memories with your kids at the show, like, definitely outweigh like missing a couple of songs at the end of the night. So we would definitely want to say that, just to like, hey, like, you can go shows with your kids, and it's going to be a really good time.
I love that you say that, because that is exactly, those memories are what is the most important to them, and showing, getting out there, creating those memories, and letting them meet people, and just showing the experience. There's just so much to it that they learn at a show. And just like you said, like it being overwhelming, it being a lot to take in, and teaching them all these things that we don't even realize actually the benefits that are coming from it for the children, that they're learning big world things that they would have to learn on their own going to a concert. And so teaching them safety and what things to look out for and what things are very important. And so I think that this is a wonderful thing, and that y'all are doing this and making those memories. And thank you so much for saying it is okay to leave a show a couple of songs. And, if you're bringing your children, and just saying, please bring your children, please please bring them out and make these memories. And that's the thing that's so important, is the memories and that time with your children. And we don't have that much time with them. And so to make these memories, and then the next generation coming into it and teaching them how to be empathetic and safe and loving, and looking around at their surroundings around them, and how to be aware about this is such a jump, such a big jump in their life, that we don't even realize that the other people are like, oh, you have your kids at a concert? And it's like, yes, we do. And it is a great thing. And we are bonding, we're making many memories. They're learning things for when we're not with them, what to look out for. And so that's a great thing. And I really thank y'all for bringing that up and saying it's okay, and for other people not to say anything. So I really appreciate that.
Especially with Goose. I mean, the soundboards will be up very soon. So
Yeah.
show, right? And so, yeah, I think that Goose is like an ideal band to be like, it's cool. You're fine. Leave her. Yeah.
Right. Like, you don't have to make that your reason why you leave the kids home,
Yeah.
And they're so supportive too. Like, they love the kids. When when Sky went to her first show, I was for sure they don't respond, they're not able to respond back and stuff. But I messaged Peter and I messaged Ben and sent a few messages. I was like, hey, I'm bringing my daughter to this show. This is her first show. She absolutely loves it and absolutely loves the band. And, we weren't far into the band. I think at this point, like, we had only seen them like 6 times, and they came out, spent so much time with her, just, giving her so much love and attention. And so that's another thing that you can, it doesn't mean it's going to happen, but there's a bigger chance that they know that the kids are there, and, they want to show that love to them, and to see, that things are possible. So I would always say, possibly just reach out and let them know. And you never know, you could get a shout out too, like, thanks to the, these awesome kids are here. So you never know what you're going to get. And the band is so amazing and so wonderful, and wanting everyone and inclusive of everyone. So, and especially the kids, and it's such a wonderful space for them. Goose is truly the ideal band to take them to, to start them with.
Yeah, totally agree. We had a nice little interaction at Legend Valley. I think it was night 2. We were walking in, and Coach was driving around on his little moped, and he saw the kids, and he did kind of a 180 as soon as he saw them, and stopped and shook their hands and said hello. And I don't think we stopped hearing about that for, at least a year now.
Yeah.
They constantly talk about it.
Yeah. Judah, our youngest, gave Coach a flower, and it was just so cute. We're really happy that he stopped, and shout out to him and Bonnie for now having a kid, like this next generation is going to be growing up. It's like kids and, the Goslings. They're going to be great.
Like the Gosling community. We have the Goose community, and now maybe that's what we should call it, the Gosling community.
Yes.
That way that they can, get in and stuff. That would be really cute.
I love that. So we already know your boys love Goose, like we talked about. So how else do you connect through Goose outside of the live shows? Like, I know you all love to make pancakes.
Yes. So we have a pancake challenge that we want to share with everyone and encourage you to try this with your kids or on your own. Our favorite part about Goose is that they can jam for a long time. So this challenge is you pop on a long pancakes jam, like a 28-minute jam, 20 plus, and you see how many pancakes you can make before the song's over. And this includes the entire process. And so much fun.
I love that.
Now I want to do this. I have a girls' weekend coming up. I'm like, should we do this? It sounds really fun to me. Yeah, that sounds
Definitely
cool.
Pancake challenge. What's the most pancakes you ever made in one pancake song?
Oh my goodness. I feel like
over 20 time.
Yeah, they go ham with it. And it's funny too, because like, hey, pancakes, super easy for kids to do on their own. You just get out the supplies from. They get really creative with it. We give them all sorts of random toppings. And it's like our mutual love of Goose is like the kids will randomly clap the pancakes opening. Like it's just an inside joke. Like besides just seeing like live music with them, it has now become a daily part of our lives, whether it's doing like random challenges or like the inside jokes. I've seen this a lot on different Goose pages that people say that in the Yeti song, instead of saying Yeti, people are saying Daddy. And so our kids definitely think that's a daddy song.
Yes, I remember they opened Fred the one night with Yeti. And the kids lost it. They turned around. They were like, it's the daddy song. It's like, all right, I'll take it. That's great.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
They'll also, like, if they just get excited or they're happy in general, they will just start yelling Goose as loud as they can. we could be anywhere. We could be in the house. We could be out in public. Doesn't matter. That's their I'm happy, I'm excited expression. Just a loud goose.
That's awesome.
That's so cool. Oh, wow.
Y'all have the coolest kids ever. Like I am definitely like, okay, we've got to make a play date and, and get together like parents and kids that love Goose, especially boys and girls. Like, I'm especially trying to get, boys, even though the Goose community is very safe, and that's one thing I definitely have realized like through this Goose drought of all the shows that I've definitely been doing. I'm like, wow, we are spoiled. We've got it made. But it's, that's an awesome thing for the Goslings to meet and to know like different shows that they can go to and have that support group that, from a young age. And so that's really, really, really cool. Y'all are an awesome, cool family. I'm so excited to get to talk with y'all and chat with y'all.
Yeah.
I have to meet up at a show for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. I would love to see the kids too. Our kids like love playing concert. Like they love putting on shows themselves. So I'd love to get them with other kids to do this together and have that like team building kind of with other kids, because like that's such a big part of what our kids do. Now when they're just home having free time is they will come down, invite us to a concert, cut out tickets, try to sell me the tickets. I have to get my like coins out for them, and I'm like paying like a couple quarters to go to their shows. They put on a full performance, and then they've even made posters and do like the backstage. And like I was gonna share like the long-term effects of bringing your kids to music is like you are cultivating like a lifelong love for music, and like for them to practice that and influence their play and imagination, I think is so big, because like I love seeing that imagination with concerts for them. Like I think that it's such a healthy play, it's such a fun play, and I would love to get them with other kids to keep on doing that. So I wanted to definitely share that with y'all.
You're such an inspiration. Like I just cannot stop smiling over here and hearing you say like things like my kids they'll like make a little, invite you to different things and stuff. And so it's so nice to hear that, that y'all's kids, the imagination is just, and just like you said, the long-term benefits is much more than just going to a show. It's their imagination and then the things that they feel like, oh, I can do this and I can do this. And, and like Peter and Ben coming out, and my husband is a drummer. And so Sky, she likes to, she's been playing around with different things. And so Ben was talking with her, and she is so hardcore dedicated to drums now. And, she's in drum lessons all the time. She's in band. She's, doing all these things. And, like, Mom, you've got to send Ben this video and stuff. And he'll actually like look at them and watch them. And then, when he sees her, he's like, are you working on your paradiddles? Or I'm not for,
Yes.
and just like, hey, are you doing this? Are you doing this? And just the inspiration that they've gotten from seeing Goose has been like what we've gotten. And so it's just not just for adults, it's the children have gotten such inspiration. And then, like you said, like the connection between your children and you and the bonding that comes between that, it's just been a beautiful thing. And I'm so happy to hear y'all sitting here talking about it and hearing the beauty that I've been seeing on this side, and just explaining it to people, and just how much more that it is than just a band and the community and everyone coming together. And so this is beautiful to hear y'all's story. And y'all definitely I think should lead the little Gosling. Y'all have so many awesome tips and so much wonderful things to give experience on. And I do want to say that is absolutely amazing that a lot of people are afraid to do these things when they have an autistic child, and, like, oh no, this is going to overwhelm them. And you're helping him so much to get through those hard things. Autism is that's one of the things that I've realized with my little cousin, is that's a big step, is that overwhelming and going into a place that you don't know and that you're not aware of who's around. And so that's an awesome, awesome thing. And I'm so thankful that y'all, I just can't tell you how thankful I am enough that y'all are sharing this. And it's a really big deal. And I think it's not something that has been addressed in the community a lot. And just for y'all to come on and address it is huge. It's absolutely huge.
We really appreciate all the love and sending it back. Like, it means a lot to hear you say that. And like, we just want to help like other parents feel like they can do the same. And like, it takes a village to raise a child. And, it's such a safe, welcoming community. The Goose community has like just been so amazing. So thanks for saying that. Like, it's really nice of you. Sorry, our dogs started barking too. They're like a little wild puppies, but they should be chill now.
It's all good. I didn't hear them do it. I didn't hear them.
So. You did good with the mute, Sarah. You're good. You're good.
Good.
Yeah. I love this so much. You all can see why when we talked about doing a parenting episode and bringing your kids to shows, I was like, Sarah and Jason, those are my people, because they really are passionate about this topic, and you can feel that. And so thank you for sharing that. One thing we kind of touched on, but I wanted to make sure we had a chance to talk about. So we talked a little bit on the impact that you think this has had on your children. And what about anything else that you think it's had on your children, but what about your family as a whole as well?
Yeah, I think that Goose has really helped us as a family to bond and have that like unique shared experience that's ours. And I think being a parent, you try to get your kids into stuff and it might work, or maybe one kid's into it and one kid's not. But Goose was the thing that all of us were into from the beginning. And I think it was bingo tour that hooked them, is like having that ability to have a bingo board and customize it and make it their own thing. It really gave them that ownership over it, and then opened the door to the experience. So I think that just as a whole, it's helped us bond as a family over the last 4 years now.
It's so beautiful. So beautiful. You're such an amazing stepmom, Sarah.
Thank you.
I mean, just the way, that's a beautiful thing to come into a family, and it's hard. I came from grew up in a divorced family and step parents and everything. And sometimes it can be such a hard thing, but for you to come in and, and to be going to Goose, and for this to all bring y'all together as a family is just such a beautiful story to hear, and just how wonderful that it brought your family together and bonding, and just so quickly solidified that bond, because usually it's very hard, and it takes a long time, and it takes years. And it's so beautiful to hear that, that you came in and you found a way to, for y'all all to bond, and it's still continuing, and just the bonding is growing and growing and growing. I have such goosebumps, because it's such an inspiration to me, and I'm sure to others. And it's a beautiful, beautiful story.
Yeah, it reminded me when we had our Boundless and Simple Love Valentine's Day episode, we had some romantic couples, we had some friends. To me, this is yet another love story, right? That Goose has brought to the fore as a family one. And I'm just so grateful y'all were here to share it, because it's really awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I made that connection the other day. We were listening to that episode, and I was like, oh my gosh, this kind of fits right into that community and love. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, thank you so much for being here. Is there anything else you wanted to share that we didn't get a chance to touch on, or any parting words?
Yeah. I wanted to shout out to Peter, because during the pandemic, we ended up going on the Cameo. And for those who don't know, it's where you can purchase individualized, customized videos from different artists to send to your loved ones. And we bought one for the boys, and Peter gets on his video camera, and he has Luigi, and he's just being so sweet, talking about how Luigi is from our house, and going to the concerts. And he ended up singing them Time to Flee, which is one of their favorite songs. And so I just want to say special shout out to him, because I really feel it's the band members who really make it such a welcoming family environment, because they cultivate best practices, and they cultivate so much love for the community that that really helped us to go to all these shows, because it gave us that special connection. So that was definitely something I still cherish, is that video from Peter.
Oh, I love that.
So cute. Oh my goodness. Luigi and his adventures. The adventures of Luigi. I love it.
So cute. Brings some tears to my eyes and stuff. That's so amazing. And just the sweetness of that is your Luigi. He comes home, he's here. That means the world to them, the absolute world to them, and telling all their friends. And that's so cute. And do you hear stories about them coming home and going to school and stuff? Do they ever hey, I want to listen to this song, or, and I was telling my friends about Goose today and this, do y'all hear those stories?
Oh yeah. It sounds like Judah is just a little rock star at school. He's very much that performance. And now they're having tryouts for this alien show at his school, and he's going for one of the leads. And I really think that it's so good to get your kids involved in live music, because it helps encourage them to also try to be a performer. And when he's been talking about stage fright, I've been bringing up the shows we've been to. I'm well, I bet like Rick gets stage fright, but like, he overcomes it, and like it's a good example. All the guys from Goose, and I like the Earthlink or alien connection to that with Judah. We've been talking about that a lot. A lot of inside jokes with the songs. They definitely like that one. Best kid-friendly songs, I feel like, for Goose: Earthling or Alien, Time to Flee, Yeti, Animal. They love Animal. They were like singing that at Christmas to the rest of the family. And they were like very shocked by it, but we liked it.
I love it so much. And I know Judah is like a little comedian that's always like got jokes about Goose and quoting random Goose shows and stuff. When you told me about the where's Grippo, that he would say that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's like an obscure Goose line that you would only know from listening to soundboards. And like, I love him so much. So
yeah, he was walking around. That was the Legend Valley Drive-In show, and we were waiting in line to get a poster, and he's just walking around going, "Hey, anyone seen Grippo?" And people are losing it, They're like, who's this little kid? What is he doing?
Like, he gets it. He's hilarious. That's so funny.
Awesome. That's so
Well,
cool.
thank you so much, Sarah and Jason, for being here today. And we are going to leave everyone with a word from Judah and Josiah themselves. So here you go.
My name is Josiah, and I was really deep out and I get a PS keyboard, and I like Waluigi.
Do you have anything else to say?
That's it. Goodbye.
Hi, my name's Judah, aka Judah McJ. So, these are some reasons and things about Goose times and stuff I've had. Number one, I like, which one's first? Oh yeah, number one, I like songs, the songs. I like Time to Flee, Pancakes, and Highway to the Danger Zone. Next, everybody in the band is so funny. And last of all, one time we were driving to Legend Valley. When I got out, there was some people kind of across from us or next to us. I went out. I was like, I'm free! And then the people next to us were like, bye now. Wait, actually, Peter? Cheese. Bye now.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Judah. Thank you, Josiah, for adding your voice to our podcast. We're so excited that you're able to join us. And of course, thanks again to Sarah and Jason. We, of course, also want to hear from you. We have our voicemail line set up for everyone to call in and tell us about their experiences with Goose and any other bands you'd like to see. Give us a call at 704-275-3128 to leave us a message. It might get played here on the show. This week, we're asking folks to call in and tell us about your first Goose show. Again, that number is 704-275-3128.
Goose Chicks podcast is produced by Leslie Mack with support from sound engineer Matt Dwyer, co-host Alexius Lipo, and contributors Chelsea Long, that's me, and Hannah Liebrecht.
Special thanks to our sponsor, Ben & Jerry's, for their support, especially Jay Curley, Jay Tandon, and their entire team.
We are a proud member of the Osiris Media family. You can check us out on socials at Goose Chicks Pod and listen to all of our episodes. Contact us and purchase new items from Goose Chicks Pod merch drop on our website, goosechickspod.com.
Remember to subscribe and leave us a review in your favorite podcast app. Also tell your friends about the show. It really helps us out. Until next time, be kind to each other out there.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Osiris.